So this past weekend, I was asked to help out with documenting a historical event where Morrisound Recording Studios was designated by Hillsborough County as a historical landmark here in the Tampa area. So you're going to see a lot of the old school musicians in this video that helped make that happen. We're going to have interviews from members of Cannibal Corpse, Nasty Savage, Monstrosity, Siren, and even Tim Hubbard, the photographer that was first to photograph Obituary and Deicide and bands like that. ABC Action News, they were on scene. They were doing interviews. But check this out. This is the full-length version of the event. So strap in. Here's my first interview with Jim Morse.
What's up, everybody? It's Drew from the Drinking with Drew show, here with the legendary Jim Morse of Morrisound Studios in Tampa, Florida. Now, Jim, I heard you're not a drinker. You're drinking orange soda today, is that correct?
Orange cream soda. Let's be specific.
Okay. Now, that's your celebratory drink today for this awesome historical event that's going on with Morrisound Studios.
Yeah,
it's a long day for you.
It's a awesome thing. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning thinking about some of the people who used to work at the studio, both the artists and the engineers, and I've been seeing them all. It's surreal. It's actually crazy.
I've talked to a few people here that traveled out of state that used to work with you. I mean, a lot of people came out for this.
Yeah, we had our very first studio manager, Cindy. She flew in from L.A. We had some people from the Carolinas and the Midwest. I mean, it's always been a family business, and at moments like this, you realize that it kind of was a two-way street of a family business. So I'm really humbled by it.
45 years.
44. We actually incorporated in 1981 and opened our doors in December of 81. So 44 years. It's just crazy.
Okay. Now, you just got done recording a new album by Nasty Savage, Jeopardy Room. That's had a very, I guess, huge success. How was it like going back in the studio with Ronnie and the guys?
Well, Ronnie, it's like I never left. I mean, it's like we just worked together last week. So despite the fact that the first album with him was 40 years ago, it was just like old home week. It was great. You know, he's a bundle of excitement. Don't tell him I said that. But
we'll delete that.
Yeah, but he's just so much fun to be around because he's everything. For Ronnie, when you're working with him, it seems like tomorrow's going to be a better day than today. It's just going to be better. Everything's going to get better from here on out. He makes you feel like that, and in my business, that's awesome. I mean, it makes every session more fun for everybody in the band, for me, for him, for all of us. So it was I had missed it because it had been years since I had worked with Ronnie, and getting a chance to do it again was really special.
Yeah, it's awesome. What's next on the list? You got anything coming out?
Well, I mean, I'm in the middle of 3 or 4 projects right now. I just finished mixing a record yesterday that's probably not going to be out till the fall. Most of the stuff I can't really talk about, but I'm still working, 50 hours a week. Since the last 24 years, since 9/11, we have a lot less international business than we used to have. That's okay, and of course, we used to do mostly metal stuff, and now we do kind of a lot of everything, which is awesome. I'm in the middle of a record right now that I'm actually more involved in than normal for a band called Artisan, and that's been really fun. I'm hoping that comes out early next year, early 2026. We just started cutting rhythm tracks for it, but that'll take the rest of the summer to get through that. But most of the stuff I'm working on I can't really talk about, so but I'm having fun.
I heard that you were in the market for a new guitar, but your wife will not let you buy a new guitar. Is that true? But that doesn't translate? in English?
Well, no, I mean, am I the market for a new guitar? Not really.
Well, how am I going to explain to my wife that I need another guitar?
I mean, I have, sadly, I'm one of those people that apparently feels like, well, if a certain number of guitars can cause personal happiness, apparently the number is not 22. So
Okay.
I'm working on finding what the number is.
Out of 22 guitars, what's your favorite?
I have a 1964 Strat that I bought in 1980 when it was only 16 years old. And that's my pride and joy. I have a 62 also that's a really nice guitar, but the 64, ugly as hell, by the way. It's a candy apple red, or it used to be. It's a terrible looking guitar. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Now, outside of recording and guitars, what does Jim like to do? What is a Jim hobby?
Wow. Aside from, music is a major part of my life, but I'm really a family man. So, I have 2 adult kids and a grandson now, and that's kind of the most important stuff to me in life.
All right, Jim Morris, Morrisound Studios in Tampa. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Metal Brothers.
Yeah.
That was an awesome interview from Jim. Now we have Paul Mazurkiewicz from Cannibal Corpse. Check this one out.
Okay, guys, Drew here with Paul Mazurkiewicz from Cannibal Corpse at this historic event for Morrisound Studios. Paul, what does this mean to you personally?
Oh man, thanks for having me, Drew. But yeah, this is amazing. What an accomplishment. What a feat, right? For Morrisound to be looked at, in the community like this. So it means a lot. Obviously, we started our career with Morrisound and Scott Burns, and to see this happening, it's tremendous. I mean, can't say enough. I mean, how amazing it really is.
How do you feel Morrisound pushed some of these bands in the 80s to where they are today?
I mean, like I said, yeah, we started out there. We did, 6 albums at Morrisound throughout the 90s, and then just think of all the death metal and, and other bands of other genres that came out of Morrisound. I mean, that was the place to go, right? It was the place to record. So, I mean, they had a big hand in what death metal is today. Some of the biggest names in death metal obviously came to record there. So if it wasn't for them, a lot with Scott Burns, of course, and if it wasn't for both of them and the studio, Jim and Tom, I mean, maybe it'd be a different thing right now. But we're happy that it ended up being this way, and we're happy that we recorded there, and I'm sure all the bands feel the same way as well. So yeah, I mean, it's just amazing thing.
Now, Cannibal Corpse, you guys, I feel like you're always on the road. What's next up give us the next year? Where's Cannibal Corpse at? What do you...
Well, we just got off the tour with Meshuggah and Carcass, and we just played Sonic Temple Festival in Columbus last week, but doing a tour with Municipal Waste coming up here in the fall, September through October. That'll pretty much take us into the next year. So after that, we're not sure. Nothing is set in stone right now, but at least we got that tour coming up, and that'll finish off 2025 for Cannibal Corpse.
Think sometime in June, October, maybe December, we're going to get him on the Drinking with Drew show. That's just me assuming. I don't know. Now, most importantly, Paul, what are you drinking today?
Oh, Dave, my good buddy Dave Allison.
Fucking Death Metal Dave.
Death Metal Dave. So I don't know what he got me. It might be the Museum of Metal brew. I'm not sure. I know it's good. Magnanimous make a great beer. No matter every time, whatever I've had here so far is amazing. I like
great brewery.
Yeah,
right here.
It is. The Scott Burns beer. I remember having some of that. That was amazing. So all I know, it's good, and they do a great job.
All right, guys. You got Paul on the Drinking with Drew show, and hey, I will say this as a fanboy of Cannibal Corpse since I was a young kid. You guys shaped my life, man. You guys are fucking an amazing band. And the Drinking with Drew show, we'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Drew.
So now we pop back over to the Morrisound Studio location in Temple Terrace, where people would say it's the original Morrisound Studios. Actually, it's the second location. But this is the location that was actually designated the historical landmark in Hillsborough County. So we got an interview there with Nasty Ronnie piggybacking off of ABC Action News. Check this out.
What does this studio mean to you and your band, Nasty Savage?
Well, first off, it's a great day for Morrisound because someone's recognizing, and the city's recognizing, a historic place that changed the course of heavy metal, and then into the 90s it changed the course of death metal. So this is a place, the 3 different locations I recorded in all 3, but it's changed the course of metal history. It's brought people from all over the world, internationally. I mean, if it said Morrisound Recording on your album, it really meant a lot to the metal community worldwide. So for us, we just kind of followed a band, Avatar, which was Savatage, and a guy named Dan Johnson, which was a real visionary. Nasty Savage came in and we did our albums, and it meant the world to us because our record company, we got signed to Metal Blade Records out of California. They trusted us, they trusted the studio, and Brian Slagle actually came here for our mixing, and he owns Metal Blade Records. So it means a lot. I mean, it's changed the course of metal, like I said, and this is a historic day. It's well deserved. These guys have been doing this for decades, almost 5 decades, When it says Morrisound Recording, it really means a lot to a lot of people. So it's been an incredible journey.
Would your career in heavy metal been the same without this studio?
Probably not, and I've been doing this for 42 years, Nasty Savage, Nasty Ronnie here. 20 years after our last album, we came here just last year and recorded a new album. And, to get up in the morning and go, today I'm going to go to the studio and do my vocals, it was an incredible feeling. I was anticipating, I was anxiety, I was nervous, but I knew one thing, that Jim Morris would get me through it. And that's that common effect that this guy has. I mean, he'll stay on the board 13, 14 hours in one day. I don't know how he does it. And if he's on board with you, you're going to have a good product. So it all worked out great. And working with them, we have a song called The Sixth Finger. And I think Jim Morris is the sixth finger because he is the sixth band member who gets you through it. And their dedication to excellence is unbelievable. And I realize that more than ever with this recording, working with them.
So, of course, Jon Oliva himself, Savatage, Avatar. He was there. He was interviewed by ABC Action News. Here's the man, the myth, the legend, Jon Oliva.
Jon, what does this studio mean for you and your band, Savatage?
Oh, this is where it all started, really can't say much more about it except that this was the place. And the Morris brothers were very much important in Savatage development.
Why was it important for you to be here today for this dedication?
Because I love the Morris brothers. And I love the studio. I actually bought it. So now Trans-Siberian Orchestra owns it.
Uh-huh.
And so we're keeping it in the family.
How neat is it for you to keep this studio alive? Its traditions, its obviously musical influence.
Well, it's expensive as hell, but no, it's great. It's great. It's tradition, That's all I can say. It's tradition. Needs to be kept.
The fact that Savatage is still going strong, touring, do you owe that kind of to where it all began right here?
Oh yeah, of course. A lot of it. Those guys were willing to stick their necks out and support us. And it's paid off.
And that was during a time where heavy metal maybe wasn't the most popular, right? Form of music. It was kind of more a niche market.
Well, yeah, heavy metal was before us and Nasty Savage, a couple other bands. There was no heavy metal. I think it was the Outlaws with Greengrass and High Tides Forever. That was it.
Do you give this studio also credit for giving heavy metal a chance? And now obviously
Absolutely.
It's blown up.
Absolutely. They were very instrumental in bringing the heavy metal stuff out to the public.
So I called up to Tim Hubbard. Tim is an amazing photographer. He's done a lot of work since his career started with Deicide and Obituary, snapping those album covers way back in the day. So let's hear what Tim has to say on how this shaped his career and what it did for the metal community.
I'm here with Tim Hubbard. Tim, you are a historical figure in Tampa. You've taken some photos of bands in the past that kick-started their career, Obituary for one. Tell me a little bit about that and how you got started way back in the mid-'80s on taking photos.
They kick-started my career for the last 35 years doing really two iconic photos, Obituary and Deicide, the first album covers. It all come down to Scott Burns. We were friends. He was working the night shifts at Morrisound, and they gave him Obituary to shoot, this young band. And, you know, nobody knew anything. So they needed photos for the album cover all of a sudden as they're recording. So Scott gave me a call. He knew I was a photographer. And we did one iconic picture in Ybor City with the flames going up and made them silhouette, which nobody, you know, it wasn't a thing back then. So it made it a little more crazy and mysterious. And then I followed it up with Deicide. And from then it's just one after another. I'm still working. I'm still getting jobs from those two photo albums, really. A lot of promo pictures, a lot of album covers. A lot of it was because it was extreme metal. People didn't like it. It was only a handful of people, just like punk rock, and that's where I came from, you know. A handful of people like it. We went to the shows, and, you know, we covered what we liked. And so I got real lucky being in the right place, and, you know, it was extreme, so I was into it. And I was just one of the guys that kept bringing my camera to things, you know.
Have you shot anything other than bands, or is that?
Oh yeah, I'm a photographer full time. We shoot everything, anything and everything. I've been through the whole wheel, but you know, luckily I still get to shoot bands, which has always been my favorite thing.
What are you shooting now? Obviously, film back in the day. What's your camera of choice now?
It's all digital, but it really doesn't matter. They're just, you know, a great quote was from good football coach John Gruden. I don't marry the quarterbacks, I just use them. I don't marry camera equipment, I just use them till they break. So mostly Nikons, Canons, I've shot everything. It doesn't matter. It's not the equipment, you know, it's you going out and doing it. You know, so it really doesn't matter the media you're using. You know, I'm not into, what do you want, a Lincoln or a Cadillac? It doesn't matter, you know.
Makes sense. All right, man. Well, what's the next year or so look for you?
Very good. We're going to do another Tampa Bay Museum of Metal show in February. January, February, which is growing very good. I've just finished 2 album covers last month and helped a little bit on a video, so that's fun. I work also in fashion world, so that's most of my job now is with a designer who is in the music business too herself, and that's where I knew her from. So it just gets full circle.
How do you feel about this today, this historical event with Morrisound Studios?
Well deserved, well deserved. It's great, you know, and it's staying power. You know, what happened a long time ago, punk rock was a little thing, death metal was a little thing, and the internet kept it alive, and they were able to see the history of it, you know, and so it's gigantic now because of that, you know. We thought it was great then. You know, it just took a lot of other people a long time to catch on. So, but I'm glad that these people are kicking still and able to be recognized for what they did. You know, that's amazing. Great stuff.
Absolutely. All right, guys, Tim Hubbard. So Drinking with Drew show. We'll see you soon.
So Nasty Savage, they just recorded a new album, Jeopardy Room, at Morrisound Recording Studios. So I had to catch up with them and hear what they had to say. Here's Jim, Kyle, and Pete.
We're here with the guys from Nasty Savage. We got Pete Sykes, Jim Coker, Kyle Sokol. Guys, what does it mean to be a part of the Morrisound Studio history here? This is a huge event.
Oh my God, it's so amazing. I mean, it's just incredible. All the people and the history of this place is just amazing, you know what I mean? It's like such a undescribable vibe, you know what I mean? It's like really, if you think about all the history and all the bands like in metal that played and recorded there, you know, it's like, it's hard to even imagine that.
You've recorded there a couple times, right? You recorded there, Pete, a few times.
Yes, yeah.
So, Kyle, first time at Morrisound, what was your experience?
It was pretty awesome. I actually went there in the 1990, probably 90, 91, to watch a couple bands. They let me in actually to see it. I was a super fanboy waiting out front. But it was pretty cool that they let me in. Scott Burns let me in. But the first time it was amazing. I mean, Jim Morris was great with us, and I can't say anything but good stuff about it. So
Jeopardy Room is out. It's a fucking amazing album. You guys knocked it out of the park on that one. I mean, I will say this, huge time Nasty Savage fan from a long time, and I would say that's comparable to some of the best albums that they've released.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Now, do we see something in the future from you guys, 2006-ish or 26-ish?
We hope so. You know, there's talk. You know, you roll with the punches when it comes to, you know, everybody's getting a little older with jobs and everything. And if it can happen at all, we will make it happen, you know, and that's the plan. You know, it's always the plan, I guess, you know.
Yeah, we're working on new stuff right now. We actually just started recently working on new songs. So we hope to do it really quick because we don't have, like, you know, you can't just wait around, you know. We got to record some more stuff. Our last album sounded so good, it's like, why not, you know what I mean?
You guys are on the road a lot lately. When's the next show? What you got coming up in the next month or so?
I mean, the one that's confirmed is in Belgium at Alcatraz Fest in
August. Gig.
The LA, I don't know the dates though. July time frames?
Yeah, maybe in July.
And then suppose maybe Chile later in the year. So.
Yeah.
You guys are now an official Dean guitar band. That was awesome to see you guys now sponsored by Dean. Love that guitar?
Yes, actually I do, yeah. Yeah, I'm not just saying that too. They're actually really good guitars, you know. Both of the ones I have. At first I was a little skeptical, but once you get used to it and you start playing on it, you find all the good qualities. Yeah, I only play that guitar now. That's it. I don't really play any of the other ones too much.
Now you've got
I guess, but not right now.
You've got a crazy fretless bass. How do you deal with that? Because I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I have a few Deans. I have a fretless 5-string with them now, but I just had Dean install all new EMGs in there for me because I'm an EMG artist as well. So it's been really good. They take care of us. I drop it off, they set the guitars up, they put the stuff in, they try this out. They've been really great to the whole band. So.
Cool. All right, guys, I won't keep you. Thank you for hanging out with the Drinking with Drew show. And what are you drinking?
Museum of Metal.
Museum of Metal beer.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Nasty Savage.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, this is one of the few guys that's recorded in all three Morrisounds. So, I mean, and did a lot in all three. We just did an album last year that I think we got freaking huge reviews on that thing.
We got a lot of press. Yeah, we're still getting it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's rightly so. I mean, I listened to it again the other day. Actually, I mean, I hadn't heard it since we mixed it, and I'm like, this is really good, man. It came out great.
Yeah, in the car, I have the unmastered before we mastered it. So I've been jamming on that a lot.
Yeah.
Did you master it too, or who mastered it?
I think I did.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to master. I know BJ did. I'm trying not to master records anymore. I don't want to. I don't enjoy mastering, and I don't like me mixing a record and then me mastering it. I like somebody else to do it. So BJ's been fantastic at it, and we have tools now that we never had before. And basically, you can make a record as loud as anybody can possibly imagine, and it still retains a lot of the stuff that we were trying desperately to figure out how to do for 40 years. And now it's really much easier. But I just hate doing it. And it takes fine detail hearing that engineers my age shouldn't get involved in. So I'm good with not doing it anymore. So some of these two guys were engineers of ours in the early 2000s, late 90s. And I haven't seen them since they went out and got real jobs, and it's just so fucking great seeing them. Am I supposed to say words like that?
It's okay, man. This is a big day. Dan, how's?
My mom can't hear this because she passed away, so I can say whatever I want. My mom won't get mad. I just don't want your viewers to hear Jim swearing and stuff.
No, man, this is a historic day. Dan, how has it impacted you to be here from the beginning and your vision that kind of started it all off?
It's amazing. Well, I had no idea that it was going to turn out to be what it's turned out to be. Back in the day, we were just trying to put out a record, one record at a time, as you would say. And we were pretty fortunate that things caught on and the popularity grew, and bands like, Tampa Bay bands.
What made you choose Morrisound back in the day, man?
Oh boy, there were 2 ads in the Yellow Pages. It was Morrisound, and I forget who the other studio was.
But you know what? Dan saw pictures of me with my long flowing blonde hair, and he goes, I got to work with that dude.
We're in.
All right, man. Well,
But isn't it great these dinosaurs were still roaming the earth?
It is. It's a testament. It's a testament to what we do.
Really short arms. Yeah. So we got that going.
All right, well, we'll be right back with more here at the historic day at Morrisound Recording. This is a big day for Tampa Bay, and it's historic, people. Stay tuned.
Everybody in the Tampa metal community was at this event. I caught up with Ed Aborn of Siren, Brandon metal band back in the 80s, even released a new album back in 2022, A Mercenary's Fate. Be sure to check that out. I caught up with Ed, and here's his take on the event.
All right, we have Ed Aborn, drummer of the Brandon-based metal band Siren. Ed, man, welcome out to this historic event. You look around, you see so many faces that you know in this community involved in Morrisound Studios.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's amazing, one, to see so many familiar faces, so many cool people who I've known for like decades. A lot of them, especially Jim and Tom, having been very blessed to be friends with them for 40-something years now, and to see how they've grown and how the impact that Morrisound has had. I mean, from the first studio on Florida to 56th Street, and now just literally a half a mile from where we are right here. And as I said to you a second ago, what I love about this is the city recognizing the historical impact that Morrisound had on the music scene, not just locally, but globally. It's awesome.
Do you feel these bands would have the success without Morrisound, or that they kickstarted the whole genre of music? Would you agree with that?
I think that many of the bands would have the same success. However, I don't know if a lot of them would have found success as quickly if Morrisound hadn't become a center point for gathering of those bands back in the 80s to say, this is the place to record. They've got people who have the skills to make you sound the best that you can be in a music field that was really just coming up at the time. I mean, you look at what even like the early Avatar recordings when things were just getting going off of Florida and coming up through all the way to with Scott Burns and the death metal scene rising up through Morrisound. So I think, obviously there are other studios, there's lots of other places in the world, but they're, oh my God, how are you doing? Yeah,
it's okay, he's allowed to interrupt us. Sorry. It's okay, it's okay.
Singing your praises, as we all should be.
Sorry, this is the amazing Ed Aborn, the guy who showed me the internet. No, he actually said, Jim, there's a thing called an internet, and here it is. Yeah. And I'm determined to read the whole thing.
I'm going to introduce you to AI next, right? No, speaking of that was funny because Jim and I, like I said, going way back, we're both kind of nerds as well as music. And as I got into doing web development, like when the web just started with the first, Mosaic in the browsers, the first studio online was Morrisound, because I said to Jim, I said, this is going to be important. This thing is called the World Wide Web. Let me explain it to you. They were one of the first 100 listings on Yahoo. It was like, all right, let's go ahead and set this website up. I'm going to build it for you. And it was so cool just to be with them through that journey.
It's amazing.
Yeah, man. Nerd.
So, speaking of a nerd hobby, you're a pinball fanatic, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
What's the latest pinball machine that you have in the household?
I'll double down on the nerdery on this. Just a couple weeks ago, I got a Dungeons and Dragons pinball machine. So it's but I got that, Maiden, Metallica, Rush. I do keep my my music pinball cred solid, so yeah. Yes, I love me some pinball.
I think you get a new one every 3 months, it feels like. I see a new one in your feed there. All right, Ed Aborn of Siren, thank you for your time, sir.
Drew, thank you very much, and thank you and Laura for what you guys do for supporting this whole local music community, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have Lee Harrison of Monstrosity. Yes, he was there as well. They're working on a new album, and that's going to be coming out soon.
We're here. We got Lee Harrison of Monstrosity. Bro, tell us how this day with Morrisound Studios, what it means to the Tampa Bay metal community.
It's huge, you know. I can't believe that we're actually getting recognized in Tampa, you know, the city doing this. It's awesome, you know, and you can't thank Tom and Jim enough, you know, Scott Burns for putting this, you know, putting that studio. I grew up in that studio practically, you know. It's like, and it's changed my, you know, life basically, you know.
Do you feel the bands that came out of Tampa and Morrisound Studios, if Morrisound Studios wasn't around?
It's the nucleus of everything, you know. I didn't really realize it until about six or 7 years ago how much, but really without Morrisound, I don't think it would have happened like this.
Now, Monstrosity, what do you guys got going on for the next year or so?
Okay, so we got the new albums finished in the can. We're just doing the packaging and stuff now and getting that going. So the album's done, just waiting to come out with it, you know. 10 songs, sounds killer.
You guys were a surprise visit at the Barf show.
Right.
That was a pretty cool kind of hometown feeling of a show.
That was just a last minute thing that, you know, all the guys were in town and just made, you know, he had asked me about doing it before when, you know, and at the time I was like, well, we got a guy in New York, we got a guy in Alabama, it's gonna, you know, money. And, you know, it just didn't make sense to drag everybody down for a little party, you know what I mean? But when everybody was in town, it just kind of, we were able to work it out. So, and it turned out, you know, a fun little, quick little thing. No pressure, no stress, just go up there, play a couple tunes, get out, you know.
Very cool, man. Well, thank you for coming on the Drinking with Drew show, Lee.
All right.
All right, man, rock on.
Good luck.
So if you go to any metal shows, I'm sure you know or have at least seen Death Metal Dave. Dave is apparently at every show. It feels like it. He knows just about everybody in the metal community. Of course, he was celebrating this event with Morrisound Recording Studios. Here's Death Metal Dave. I'm not even going to say it. In your face. Sorry, Dave. I had to.
Death Metal Dave. Dave.
In your face.
In your face.
Morrisound Recording, this is a historic day for them. You're in the scene. You've been here forever. Tell us what this day means for the Tampa community and the bands involved.
Oh, man, it means the world to the whole community and the metal community. And Morrisound, you know, I was a Morrisound rat back in the day, going and hanging out when bands were recording. Death and Obituary invited me there many years ago, and then Scott Burns used to invite me in, and I would to take bands out on the town along with Vern, who's here, and another person I'm not sure. And this guy right here, Dave, who used to work there, he used to open the door for me all the time.
What's up, Dave?
What's up?
Now, you live in Alabama now?
I am in Asheville, North Carolina.
Asheville, North
now.
Carolina. My bad. Yeah.
I'm from Alabama.
You're from Alabama. Okay. I'll get them straight eventually. So you were an engineer at Morrisound. When did you leave?
I left. I was there between 2011 to 2015.
Have you? This guy's crazy ass radio show on Wednesdays at what, 7 o'clock?
Yep.
Check Dave's show out. Death Metal Dave.
In your face.
What's up for the next year with Death Metal Dave, man?
Well, I'm going to Maryland Death Fest this week coming up. Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I go every year.
We got to exchange information, damn it.
Yeah.
Because I probably haven't seen him in 30 years.
Awesome.
30 years, at least.
I'm only 34, so it's probably been 10, but...
Okay, so it must have been 20 years.
All right, so Dave, how long have you been doing your radio show?
Oh, Lord. Well, I did it for a time for 7 years before, and then I quit doing it, and I've been doing it probably about 3 or 4 years again, because long story short, I got burnt out. I was promoting, I was booking and doing a radio show and doing a video show, and working full time, and it's a lot. And I got overwhelmed, so I quit everything all at once. And also my co-host for the radio show back then, he passed away from cancer. Hit me hard, and I was like, I gotta stop this. And I focused on family, and then I'm back in the scene again. I never left the scene, I just didn't do all the booking and promoting.
Now, rumor has it you're getting Paul from Cannibal Corpse drunk. What beer did you give him to drink?
Who?
Paul. He said you gave him the beer he's drinking. He didn't know what he was drinking, so he told me to ask you.
Tampa Bay Museum of Metal beer.
That's kind of what I figured. Okay.
It's on sale right now. Yeah. Over there.
So, Dave masterminded the Tampa Bay Museum of Metal. What is the future of the Museum of Metal, and when can we look forward to another event?
February 2026, right here at Magnanimous Brewery again. I'll just give you that. I don't have the exact date right now, but that's what we're going to do after the 70,000 tons of metal cruise is over. Yes, it'll be during probably Gasparilla, but who cares? I don't care. And I mean, I do care. I love Gasparilla, but I won't ever go again. But yeah, we want to do it here. So, because there's this thing called NAMM in California, and last time a lot of musicians from the area were out there in California when we did this exhibit, and we want to make sure they can come and be a part of it.
Makes sense.
February.
Now you're out of town like tomorrow. You're leaving tonight.
Got one more day left. I'm here tomorrow to just soak up the town a little bit more.
Do you miss Tampa? You miss the feel?
I really do. I really do. There's kind of no place like Tampa, and I fell in love with it while I was here. But it's like, life takes you a lot of places. I had to go where my heart was pulling me to go, but I value so much getting to be able to come back and kind of reinsert myself into the scene here and see some old faces and just kind of be part of this family.
Very cool. All right, guys, the Drinking with Drew show. I appreciate your time. Where do people find you? You're a sound engineer?
Yeah, you can find me at StudioWormwood.com, Studio Wormwood everywhere on the internet.
Asheville, North Carolina. Death Metal Dave.
Tampa Bay Museum of Metal.com.
All right, guys. Rock out.
I was able to catch up with Bill Owen of Purgatory. Yes, Purgatory. He was there. Here's what Bill had to say.
All right, we have Bill Owens of Purgatory. Bill, you see a lot of familiar faces here. This is a historic day for Morrisound Recordings in Tampa. Tell me about the history of Tampa with Morrisound.
Well, I mean, you can just see by all the people in this room that the impact they had on this type of music, the music in this area. And they're really good guys, so deserving of this, you know what I mean? They were influential and really helped push this music to the forefront, and were really good at it.
Does it feel like it's been 44 years?
No. I just gave Tom a picture out in the parking lot of us in 1986. I said, that wasn't yesterday, dude. He goes, no, it wasn't. So, no, that was when they were over on where they had the presentation today.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Tell us what's going on with Purgatory. What's going on for the future, you guys?
We just have to see. I mean, there's so much, obviously, that has gone on. I mean, of course, it would be great to do it again, but we'll just have to see how it works out.
You are an establishment in the metal community.
Thank you, brother.
And, man, for you to come out, obviously show your support, it's huge.
Well, I consider Tom and Jim, I've just known them so long, as like good friends, and they're just such nice people. I feel better just because I know them, you know what I mean? They're just so good, so nice, and just very smart, good at what they do. They're good people.
All right, guys. Bill Owen, Purgatory, appreciate you coming out and hanging out, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
So Dan Johnson, he owned a recording label named Par Records back in the 80s. He recorded a band named Avatar, who later changed their name to Savatage. Savatage had a huge following, obviously. They recorded some albums at Morrisound as well. Dan was at the event this weekend, and he was interviewed by ABC Action News. Here's his interview.
And tell us, obviously, your history here with the studio. You worked with Savatage. Tell us about that.
Yeah, originally Avatar, I was able to sign. I had a small label that we had formed out of Dunedin called Part Records. And we had signed Avatar, and we needed a place to record. And back then, I mean, you had to use Yellow Pages to find. There was 2 studios in the Tampa Bay area in the Yellow Pages, and it was eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I chose Morrisound, and the rest was history, So.
Avatar obviously went on to be one of the most well-known heavy metal bands ever. Tell us how much they have to owe to the studio.
Oh, everything. I mean, it's where it all started, and I mean, they continued to record here, and I think that there's not just Savatage, but there's several bands from the Bay Area: Nasty Savage, Crimson Glory, Siren. There's the list goes on, and at some point it became recognized by the rest of the metal community, and before you knew it, this was the place to go. I mean, it was it was where you wanted to record your record. So.
For those huge heavy metal fans out there, is this almost like a place you should make a pilgrimage to?
That's what we're doing today, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're doing. This is it. So yeah, absolutely. It started out in it's such a small way, and look what it's grown into. I mean, this is amazing. So yeah, the metal community, the music community, and anybody who recorded for whatever purpose at Morrisound, I'm sure had nothing but good experiences.
And hopefully this plaque, as people look at it, it's a little piece of history that people will learn who are music fans, right?
I think that years to come, there's going to be a lot of photos taken in front of that plaque for people are going to come here to take pictures in front of that plaque because of what they did and the journey that they've come. So
truly a place in music history.
Absolutely, for sure. Truly a place in music history. So come visit it. Take a picture.
All right, so now we have Nasty Ronnie of Nasty Savage, Ron Galletti, interviewing Jim Morse. I appreciate Ronnie for helping me out with this interview. Check it out.
And how much fun it was doing that album last year. That was fun, you have to admit.
Well, like I said in the interview, man, 20 years later, I'm just going to wake up one day and come do my vocals in a project. I'm like, I had anxiety. I was nervous. I was going, but, I'm working with Jim Morris, so it's all going to be all right. He's going to get me through it.
Come on, it was fun.
And you got us through it.
Yeah, it was fun, though, we had to admit. And I love the guys in the old band, but I love the guys in the new band. They were totally into it. And what a great crew you got. It was awesome. And it was so much fun being together again after. And I'm trying to think, did we do the first record in 84 or 85?
I think it was around 84-ish, close to 85.
Probably, yeah. So that's 41 years that you and I have worked together. I just can't. I didn't think I had to do anything for 41 years.
It's a testament to survival and business
for both of us.
And passion as well.
Yeah, for both of us. I mean, obviously you still got it, my wife will testify that I obviously still got it because I still look forward to getting up in the morning and going in to work on some of these albums. So, and when you called me a year and a half ago and said, I think I want to do an album, I'm like, I probably put the phone down. I'm like, did a little dance. I'm like, oh my God, Nasty Ronnie, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to feel like I'm 25 again, which I haven't felt like, by the way, in a long time.
Well, in the early days, Jim, I wouldn't hang out in the studio all the time. I would just come in, I'd do my vocals, this and that. And I missed a lot of what happened back then, all the hard work that went into it. So this time, we had a shorter time span, but I really paid more attention. And watching you work, watching your dedication, your passion, your focus, it was just amazing. And I never realized how much we're in good hands with Jim and the studio here. It was amazing to watch your body work, but your passion and your dedication is just unbelievable.
Thanks. Thanks. I mean, it's like it's truly the only reason to do this because, like my brother said, you're not getting rich doing this. You better love it. It's just like you do. And I wake up every morning, music's in my head. This is the best way to get it out. And I'm honored to work with guys and be part of a process in any capacity. Sometimes it's just showing up and pushing a button. Sometimes it's, helping with arrangements or writing or harmonies or whatever it takes. I love every bit of it. And every artist is different. The record that we just did, I mean, we collaborated on working through some of those vocal things, and that was so much fun to do that with you. I just felt like every time we finished a song, I'm like, man, people don't realize how cool this is. This is fun. This is the whole reason we do it.
Yeah, and my timings were off in this, and Jim just kind of put everything right in place, man. And that's what I meant. Coming to the studio that day, I had anxiety, man. I was nervous, and I knew I was working with Jim, so I said, it's going to be all right. And, man, when I went home that day, I said, it was all right, man. It was just a pleasure. Yeah. And it was funny, too, because at the end of the session, I had a present for Jim. And I know he's a big Beatles fan, so we presented him a Beatles clock, a real special clock.
It's a metal clock with the silhouettes of the Beatles cut out of it. It's hanging up in my home studio, and I am a total Beatles junkie. Who's also a Beatles junkie, who's here earlier today, was Jon Oliva. And so a lot of us metal dudes owe it to the Beatles. I mean, we go way back. People don't think metal, Beatles, but without that stuff, without that history, we wouldn't be doing the stuff that we're doing now.
Oh, I love the Beatles. But the funny thing is, when I gave him the thing, he opened up and he goes, "Oh man, if I knew I was going to get a clock, I would have worked harder." You know, he's just so sharp with the one-liners, man, and it blew me away. Just his wit, you know, and that keeps these sessions going. The wit of Jim Morris, and it's just amazing. And you know, congratulations today. It means a lot to the metal community, you know, and everybody who's taken part in this. Everybody's got a share in this, but you guys put the work in, and it's great that they recognized true business people for over almost 5 decades.
You'd have to say it that way. 81, so it's 45 years.
Yeah, almost 5 decades, man. And I was proud to be recording all 3 of them. And we're going to do another album too, man, in 2026. We're going to do another one with you again.
I'm ready. I'm ready right now. Let's get going.
All right. Well, congratulations. Look at this. Yeah, this is incredible, man. This is historic. And it's dedication, passion. And you know, people think it's just metal and death metal, but Morrisound has done bands unbelievably from all walks of life, man. You do everything.
There was a guy here today who's left already, but he is a jazz artist that we've worked with. He's got 7 Grammy nominations with work that we've done. So we don't have any Grammys for. He didn't win any. He got nominated 7 times. So we've been involved in all of those. So most of our metal fans would never know that we've done that much jazz. But we love all of it, and we try to put the same kind of passion into every style. But the metal thing has always been sort of special for us.
Oh yeah. So what's your last words, man?
My last word is thank you so much, Ronnie, for being here and for being a part of my history, like I've been a part of your history. And let's do it again. Let's keep going.
All right, there you have it. Morrisound Recording, a historic day with the Drinking with Drew show on location here and in Tampa Bay, man. We'll be right back with more.
Thanks, Ronnie. Well, ABC Action News obviously had to interview Jim and Tom Morris together. And here's that interview. They had a lot to say.
Jim and Tom, when you opened up the studio back in 1981, did you ever think you'd be standing here today with a plaque outside commemorating everything you've done?
Absolutely not. I mean, not a clue. This is, we opened it because we were just music fans, musicians ourselves, and also engineers. And the studio seemed like the best combination of all those things. The idea that we would be recognized for it 44 years later, it's absurd and really cool.
Yeah, what he said. When we first opened, you know, we had no idea what running a recording studio was. We were total newbies. So we had no expectations of anything like this happening.
Tell us about the reaction from some of these musicians who've come through here, how thankful they are. How does that make you feel?
It's why we do this. That's our payoff. That, like I said, being a recording engineer is not a high-paying job. So your pay is the reward you get from a job well done, and the musicians tend to appreciate that as much as anybody because it's their baby. You know, you're creative.
Some of these bands have gone on to become very popular, sell so many records. Do you feel like you're a little part of that, like you're part of that family?
Oh yeah, I mean, whether it's and it's not just from being there at the beginning of it, but it's a sort of a shared kind of journey, and we really, as technical and music people both, we're super proud of all of their efforts while they worked with us, since they worked with us, since they've gone on to do other things. A lot of them have come back. I did an album last year with a band that we first recorded in '84, and the feeling you get from that is pretty special.
What about the Morrisound family beyond just you two brothers, but a lot of former employees came back today? How'd that make you feel?
Oh my God, I kind of was choked up about it. When you work 15, 16-hour days with people for months on end, they get to be family or they hate you.
Sometimes both.
Sometimes both.
It's family.
Yeah. It's family. I've been having an emotional roller coaster here today, seeing our family members that come back to that just kind of realize that they were part of something really special and that they remember it and it means something to them. That means a lot to both of us.
Some of the people here in attendance told me that this really is the birthplace of death metal, of heavy metal, right here at Morrisound Studios. How would you respond?
Well, the birthplace of it really is in the brains of some really creative people. We just kind of facilitated it and maybe made it work for the first time and allowed these musicians to create their vision. I know it sounds really California, but without being able to express that in a recording, no one would have ever heard it. So there's people who are not in attendance today, some have passed on and stuff that really were crucial to the whole genre forming, and we're just glad to be part of it.
Some of these musicians said that you were the first to give them a chance, to actually give heavy metal a chance in a recording studio, to make it mainstream. How would you respond to that?
So I think the deal was, and Jim and I have talked about this before, is that we actually cared about what their music sounded like, and I think they'd been getting written off prior to their experience with us at studios that just thought it was not good music and didn't want to record it, and we cared. Like I said, we love to record music, and we do our best with everything. So we're happy that we were able to accommodate them and help make their dreams come true.
And I'll wrap this up here, but heavy metal fans and just music fans from all over are expected to come and read and look at this plaque. How does that make you feel to know that now you've been immortalized?
It makes me feel several things. One, I must be really old. Because I've seen the plaques in Ybor City and stuff. I'm like, oh, those are old people. So part of me goes, hey, wait a minute, I'm not that old. And the other part is like, we're both very proud of this. It's the kind of thing you just never expect. And again, it's not why we did it, but man, is it cool.
And because of this ceremony today, this history will live on forever.
Yeah, that's something we never expected. But it's a wonderful thing. So when we still get fans from all over the world that come to see the studio because of the records that we produced in the 80s and 90s, because they don't go out of style. So this will give fans some place to go take a picture.
A pilgrimage site.
Right.
Real quick, nuts and bolts. Do we have a number, like a couple numbers of how many, as far as gold records, things like that? Do we have anything like that as far as your accolades? Do we have a number?
20 according to SoundScan, the top 20 selling out of 25 albums in the death metal genre were recorded right here.
So out of the top 25, 20 of them were right here.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's great. And you still have a lot of relationships with these bands, right?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we do.
Like I said, I did an album with the band Nasty Savage last year. It's a great record, and I first worked with them at our original studio before this one, back in 1984. And so those relationships, are lasting. Our relationship with Jon Oliva from Savatage that we recorded in '82, still a great family relationship. Those are things that you dream about, and it's pretty awesome. And I will say that it would be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm hoping my grandchildren will keep this polished, this sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they need something to do, right?
Right.
They come out here at least once a month.
Yeah.
And when did you guys officially close the studio?
Well,
on your part. Well, you kind of sold. It's still a studio.
It's still a studio. We sold it to Trans-Siberian Orchestra 10 years ago, and
2014,
and we still have great relationships with that organization, both the engineering staff and the artists. And
so it's still a live active studio.
It's a private studio, but
studio.
it's still a vibrant and alive place, and we're really excited about that too.
So if I was going to say, if people wondering, what is it now? It's a private studio for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And now, do you still record anywhere else? Any other studios? Or are you kind of retired?
We built a new studio after we sold this. We downsized to a smaller studio
in the Sulphur Springs area.
So you guys are still recording, still going
Yep,
strong.
absolutely.
Still going strong.
In-
Yep.
in
In
Sulphur
fact, some of
Springs.
the artists here today have recorded with us at our new place too.
And it's still called Morrisound?
Yeah,
Okay,
Morrisound
so you guys are, just all you did was really move then. You're still going strong. Yeah.
We kept the business, we just moved the location.
Gotcha. You guys were great. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So there was a speech provided by Tom Morris. I know it was on a busy highway. There's a lot of traffic in the background. We're doing what we can here. Here's Tom.
Now I'd like to introduce the man who created everything here, along with his brother, Tom Morris.
Yeah. So, where are you, Jim? There he is. So, yeah, Jim and I started this a while ago, so it's not all on me. But because I knew I was with seeing all of you and so many of you that I haven't seen in so long that I was probably going to lose it, so I wrote a speech. So if you'll pardon me, I'm going to read this thing. So a few weeks ago, I was asked for a quote about what this recognition means to the family business. And to answer that, I took a look back at why we started Morrisound in the first place. I want to say that no one decides to open a recording studio to get rich or famous. Those of us who own studios can tell you that's a fact, or to get a historical marker. But when Jim and Laurel and Rick Miller and I love the roadside noise though. When Jim, Laurel, and Rick Miller and I started Morrisound in 1981, so I want to take a minute to talk about extreme metal. It's one of the few music genres in which it's not enough just to be able to hear every instrument. Every instrument has to sound massive. And it turns out that's not very easy to do. Early recordings of metal suffered from competition between instruments and poor recording quality. So what we did was to develop recording techniques and mixing techniques that allowed us to keep the power of each individual instrument and do it with clarity. We're very proud that this groundbreaking work has been recognized by the Hillsborough County Historical Advisory Council with this marker. This recognition also deserves to go to the artists that created the music, especially the first metal bands that we recorded. Without the drive and commitment that they had, this marker would not be possible. The records that Savatage and Nasty Savage and Obituary recorded with us in the early 80s opened our door to a steady stream of metal bands that continues to this day. The bands brought their creativity and imagination. Our engineers, assistant engineers, studio managers, and office assistants, most of which are here today, made it possible for us to provide the kind of recordings and the creative environment that resulted in a worldwide reputation for our studio and for Tampa Bay. When I contacted those of you who are current or former staff to let you know about this marker, it was because all of you had a hand in making this happen. Morrisound would not have been a successful studio without the time and energy you put into your work. Many of you have moved on, most to different jobs, some to different parts of the country, and a few to different countries. I didn't expect very many of you to be able to make the time, or in some cases, travel across the country to be here. I just thought you ought to know about it because you were a part of it. And yet here, almost all of you are. That you feel a connection to the work you did so long ago is something that I treasure. Morrisound has always been a team effort. We may have started as a family business, but we grew into a business run by the people around you today. People that I've been proud to work beside, and staff that has been like family to me. So when I think about what this recognition means to my family business, I think of all of you, the Morrisound family, and what you have given to this to make this possible. No one works at a recording studio to get rich. So kind. No one works at a recording studio to get rich or famous.
or to have this kind of recognition. We work long, unpredictable hours for low pay, which wreaks havoc with our personal lives and our bank accounts. All of us got into this business because we love music. This marker recognizes that our collective efforts to pursue our passion for recording help to achieve something that is exceedingly rare, the rise of a new music genre. That's something that we can all be proud of, whatever part we played in making it happen. So I want to thank you all for being here today. So now we're going to rip this thing off. I need Jim up here.
1, 2, 3.
This is the first time I'm seeing this too. Pictures on this side and text on the other side.
There's a bunch of people in that picture that are here today, if you can find them. I would like to mention that there's 2 people in that picture who are no longer with us, and we revere them and miss them. Sean Malone and Rick Miller are in the picture on the upper right-hand side, and they have passed on, and that's a very sad thing, but they're memorialized at this point. That's pretty cool.
All right, Tom, Jim, thank you for the years of amazing music. You have done absolutely incredible work with all these metal bands. We look forward to years more. Be sure to check out the Drinking with Drew show every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. We appreciate your support, and be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
That's my smile. That's his smile. That's it. He's better dressed than me always.
I almost smiled for that.